Hello everyone, it is Falls here, back with another GTA Online car video. It's been a while, and today we will be talking about cars that are in desperate need of a redesign. Now these are cars that are based on a car in real life that itself has not changed too much. And a great example here is the Dubsta. The Dubsta is based off of the Mercedes G-Wagon, but this is an OG car from day one. So it is based off of a G-Wagon from 2013 basically, and the G-Wagon now has changed a lot. They are actually rolling out a new one, the electric one. They did it with Travis Scott. It's kind of weird. I don't know why they would choose to do it that way. But they did it regardless, and I think we're in dire need of a new G-Wagon. Something I actually think is quite interesting is that obviously we all know GTA 6 is coming, and they are porting cars from GTA 6 into GTA Online. And we basically know that they've been doing that for a while, and I'm sure they have a new G-Wagon for GTA 6, because how are they not going to, taking place in Miami or Vice City, whatever, and how are you going to do that? That's just not they have one, trust me. So we definitely could use a new G-Wagon, and obviously if it came with HSW and Amani Tech, that would be fantastic. But honestly, I'm fine even if it doesn't, as long as it looks good, close to the original. I think the Terminus is a great example. The Terminus looks just like the Rubicon. It is basically the current gen version of the Mesa, which itself was based off of the Jeep Wrangler as well. And Rockstar executed it perfectly. Obviously, the Jeep has not changed in that long as well. But the new one has changed quite a bit. There are some details that are giveaways, like the headlights and taillights and whatnot, and the colors. And I think Rockstar did a great job with the Terminus, and I think that's a good example of what the Dubsta should be. And now let's move on to the next car. I know he starts chasing me. Next up, we have the Elegy RH8. Now, the Elegy RH8 is based off of the Nissan GTR. Obviously, once again, it is not necessarily an OG car. I believe it came out as part of the initial next gen, so Xbox One and PlayStation 4. So it is based off of a GTR from like 2014-ish. And the GTR is still in production, oddly enough. I don't know how much people are buying it, but it has changed a good amount, and this doesn't look that reminiscent. First person looks ugly. It doesn't look that reminiscent of an R35. It just, the taillights are way off. They're not connected like that at all, and I don't know, the overall shape is all right, but the headlights, we could definitely get a much better GTR as of now. I mean, it's 2024. Rockstar blatantly copies cars all the time, and this is just another one that they could do very easily. They could charge easily 3 million, and I would buy it. I mean, they could add HSW and make it 4.5. I would still buy it. There would probably be highly customizable options you could put on the car, because the GTR in real life is known for its highly, I don't even know how to explain it, just its insane tunability potential, and I think that that's why HSW fits it perfectly. Amani Tech, maybe not offer Amani Tech on it, because it would be kind of weird to have it on a street car like this. I mean, they have offered it on street cars, but I don't know, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't really need it. In my opinion, Amani Tech, I mean HSW, in my opinion, HSW would be perfectly fine for the RH8, and it's just a beautiful looking car, but we need a new one, and they could call it the RH9 or something, I don't know, but it's time we get a new one that's faithful to the original, hopefully with the accurate looking interior as well. This one has a generic interior from the cars at the time, and yeah, I would absolutely eat this up, pay 4.5 million easily for it. I think that's not crazy for today's GTA Online economy. And yeah, I know a lot of other people would want it as well, and I think it would be cool, because the GTR is about to end production probably. I actually don't remember if it has ended production or not. I'm pretty sure it hasn't, but it's on the border. It's right about to. They're not selling very much units. I think it would be a good time to make a new RH8 that is faithful to the GTR that we have as of now. Ow. Next up for this list is the Shafter. Now here I have the long wheelbase version, but it doesn't have to be a long wheelbase version. The Shafter was based off of a Mercedes S-Class at the time. I don't know which S-Class they were looking at. Maybe a kid drew a rendition of it or something, because this does not look like a Mercedes at all. It looks like a pretty generic car if you ask me, and I think it doesn't look like the S-Class at all at the time. And the S-Class has gone through many iterations as of recording this video in 2024. There are many different looks and refreshes of the S-Class, and the S-Class we have now is a pretty nice looking car. Now, I think this will be absolutely perfect. Once again, they probably already have one in the pipeline. For GTA 6 at least, it's just up to them if they want to release it in online or not. Honestly, I made a short about it a while ago. I don't really know if they should do that, but in my opinion, the S-Class, you know, it's a cool looking car. I would buy it, certainly. I think it would make sense for it to have a Monitech, not HSW. I don't need a fast S-Class, although the shafter that I have behind me is decently quick. I don't need a quick S-Class. I just want one that looks pretty faithful to the one in real life, which is the one we have now, and it would be absolutely awesome. They could charge not as much as 3.5 mil per se, but maybe like 2 million. It wouldn't be a fast car at all. The benefit of it will obviously having a Monitech would be the major benefit of the car, and it wouldn't really be that crazy of a car performance wise. But I think we are definitely overdue for a new S-Class, and it's pretty easy to do. Once again, they probably already have one for GTA 6, but I think they should add one now, and I'm sure the car community as a whole would appreciate that. And yeah, hopefully we get one soon. Once again, probably already have one, but will they release it to us? Who knows, honestly. And the next car on this list is the Banshee. The Banshee, I believe, is based off of not the Dodge Viper of the time, which would have been 2013. I believe it's based off of a first gen Dodge Viper. They probably could have added a third gen at the time. I'm not sure when the third gen actually started production, but now obviously the Dodge Viper is out of production, which is very unfortunate. But they should add the last generation of the Viper. I think that'd be insanely cool with HSW. The Banshee as of now is already a speed demon. I mean, with HSW, this thing is absolutely insane. It's an absolute rocket. I think it might be a contender for the top speed, but handling, it starts to fall apart, but that's not really a problem, even though the Dodge Viper in real life was known to have great handling and great power, and that was kind of strange for an American brand to be able to do that, but whatever, I digress. I think we are in dire need of a new Dodge Viper. It is a shame that unfortunately it is not in production anymore, once again, because Rockstar cannot really, the hype isn't really there. People would only buy it because they want the Viper that was out of production but the latest generation. I do think the Banshee is an okay looking rendition of the first gen. I mean, it's not great. With a wing like I have, definitely not great. And unfortunately, the stock wheels were not the 3 spokes that the original had, which is very sad. I actually think those look pretty cool. I do have these ones on here, but I mean, it's whatever. I could pay, I'm not kidding, I'd pay like 5 million for it. Obviously fully loaded. If that was just the price of the car, I would still pay for it because I have 100 million, but a harder pill to swallow for sure. And I think a lot of people share that same settlement. Sorry for that lisp there, I don't know what that was. And yeah, I think a lot of people, especially car enthusiasts, would like a latest generation, not really because it's out of production, Dodge Viper. Next up on this list is the Super Diamond. The Super Diamond was based off of the Rolls-Royce Phantom at the time, and I think it looks okay. I mean, in my opinion, the Rolls-Royce Phantom, since that body style has not really changed even today. The only way you can really distinguish them is between the paint jobs. The earlier ones came with like a lot of basic colors like old-timer, black, silver, white, gray, and whatnot. The newer ones come in a lot more younger colors, you could say, because young money is more in now, I guess. And I think the Super Diamond is pretty dated at this point, and we do not have a current generation Phantom in GTA Online, but we do have a current generation Cullinan, which does look pretty nice and also has a Monitech, but I think with armor paneling it looks absolutely horrible, so no one should have that on, just the missile jammer. The RC unit's kind of weird. And I think if the Phantom got that same treatment, then I think it would be fine, and I think they could call it, I don't know, since this one's called the Super Diamond, they could call the new one the Super Emerald, maybe a play on, I don't know. I think a current generation Rolls-Royce Phantom would be absolutely nice. And once again, they probably, I'm not even 100% they already have one for GTA 6. It is just a matter of them releasing it to GTA Online, which I don't know if they'll do, of course. Obviously, they can't release every car that GTA 6 will have, because then we will have no new cars, no new anything when we get to the game. But I don't know, I think this is one car they should make an exception. We won't LJT. I think this is one car they should make an exception to, because once again, it's nice. In Los Santos, it still makes sense. You go to downtown Los Angeles, in certain areas, obviously not the lower end areas, you will see these everywhere in real life. Obviously, Phantoms, not Super Diamonds. You can't see a virtual car in real life, although maybe you could, I don't know. And I think also they should add the Starlight headliner. They completely missed that opportunity with the Cullinan. I don't, there are lights in interiors. I forgot which car has it, but one car definitely has a light on the inside, but it's by mistake. It's not supposed to be there. So I think they could definitely add a bunch of like micro lights on the roof. That would be absolutely sick. And I would pay big bucks for this car. Probably 6 million. I'm not kidding. Fully loaded. If it was just the base price, once again, harder pill to swallow, but I would probably still buy it. And I think a lot of people want it, and it will definitely be in GTA 6. So if we don't get it in GTA Online, no worries. Just wait a year, hopefully. Hopefully it doesn't get delayed until 2026, but whatever. And we will probably get it then. Next up, we have the Sentinel XS, which was based off of the E92 BMW 3 Series. A lot of people jump to conclusions and say it was based off of the E92 M3, but that is not necessarily true. Not every car in GTA is based off of the highest trim of the car. They may have the customizations available to make it that trim. The STX, the Buffalo STX, is a perfect example of that. It has a Hellcat style hood, which is obviously the higher trim of the Charger. And some cars will do that, but the Sentinel XS was probably based on just a standard coupe E92 3 Series. And I think now, like, come on, the G80s are everywhere, the G82s are everywhere. We can get an M3 or M4 styled car in GTA Online, and it would be absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love how they look. I think the grille, once again, is still, it's one of those things where, you know, people have definitely come around to it in real life. A lot of people have embraced it. But in my opinion, I think it still doesn't look quite great. I don't like when grills have that, like, that plate behind the grill, because it just tells me that the grill is not real. And you made it so big that you actually need to block it to make it more functional, which is hilarious. But I think, once again, a G80 M3, a G82 M4 would be absolutely fantastic. And I think a lot of people would buy it. Once again, HSW makes sense. Imani Tech, not really. I would pay a lot of money for it. Maybe around 4.5 million. All these are around the same ballpark, but I am not the average player. But Rockstar are making cars very expensive. I mean, if we go to featured cars here, the Baller STD, which is absolutely ridiculous of a name, was 1.7 million, which is honestly not too bad. I thought they'd make it more. It might have a discount price, actually. I'm not too sure. But the Turismo Maggio, of course, was 2.8 million. I can't remember if it had HSW. I don't think it had HSW, but that is still a lot. Fully loaded, that's like 3.5 million dollars. And of course, the Stinger and the EVX both have HSW. Definitely both of them over 3 million fully loaded for sure. So we are kind of expecting higher prices at this point, and I'm perfectly willing to pay them. And for a G80 M3 or a G80 3 Series, it doesn't even have to have M3 style things. Like, if it had the grill option that the M3 has, bro, leave me alone. The grill option that the M3 has, that everyone hates, of course, then I would probably put it on just to let people know that that's what I'm trying to go for. But I don't actually like how it looks, so, you know, but we'll have to see if they even add it. Once again, probably one of those cars that they have already in GTA 6, but unfortunately, they just have not released it in GTA Online yet. Next up, we have the Cara 4x4. Leave me. Next up, we have the Cara 4x4, which is based off of, honestly, a couple of trucks. The most notable ones are the Toyota Tundra, which I honestly didn't see at first, but now I definitely see. And obviously the Ford F-Series line of trucks. I mean, it's not an F-150 quite, because its body is kind of too narrow, which is why it's more resembling of a Tundra more than an F-150. But it does have the signature F-150 like dip here. That the F-Series trucks also have, so I'm not too sure. This thing, it tried to look like everything, and it ended up looking like nothing. It's pretty much the best way to sum up this truck, and I think a proper F-150 is perfect. It's long overdue. If they made it good for off-roading, that would be even better. If they made a Raptor, that would be even better. I'm honestly surprised that they haven't done that yet. I'm surprised they haven't given us a TRX yet. If they give us both of those, that would be absolutely insane. And I wouldn't doubt that GTA 6 has at least one of those, with its very muddy terrainish being in Florida. But as of now, unfortunately, we do not have a Ford F-Series truck or a Ram TRX, or even a 1500, or just a standard Ram or Ford truck. We do not have. A lot of people may say, oh, why do you want a normal truck or whatever? I'm fine with cars that look completely normal. I'm not, sorry for your fireworks in the background, but I'm completely fine with having cars that look normal, because I'm like, role players and people in the car community, they like that because they could relate to it. I'm sure we all know someone who has a Ford F-Series truck, no matter how old it is. You know, it adds a layer of relatability that I think a lot of people like. And then, of course, owners of it will obviously make one that looks like theirs in real life. So yeah, I think it'd be really cool if they had one. We'll just have to wait and see if they do. Once again, GTA 6 might have one of those, but I think we're definitely overdue for a Ford F-Series truck, or the TRX even. Next up, we have the Strider and a dog. I'm just kidding. We have the Strider, which is based off of some sort of Mercedes SUV. I still can't tell. Some people might say it's based off of like a cross-country wagon or whatever. It looks too high to be a wagon, but too slung back to be an SUV. It's so strange, the proportions of this car. It really is quite ugly. And I think if we got like a Maybach GLS, that would be really cool, or a Maybach if you want to be really particular. It would be really cool, and also probably a likely car that is in GTA 6, because of course it takes place in Vice City. Wealthy people are going to be there. Once again, if you go to downtown LA, you'll probably see one at least. Yeah, I think once again, it's one of those things where even if we don't get the top trim like a Maybach with a two-tone paint scheme or whatever, just adding a standard, good-looking, accurate-looking Mercedes SUV in the game would be fantastic. Once again, it's one of those things where not everyone wants one. Not everyone wants, like, for example, a new Honda Civic. Like, not everyone wants that in the game because it's not that exciting, but people have those in real life. Not everyone could afford a Senna or a P1, so people like things, leave me alone, like things that are relatable, and that's what common cars are, and that's what they do, that's what they serve in games and racing games and whatnot. That's why they're in racing games, because in racing games, a Honda Civic is not really going to be that good, but people like it because it's relatable, and they have one, and they customize it to theirs. So I think that is why we should get common cars like a common Mercedes SUV, even if it's not a Maybach, because it's relatable and people see it all the time. And not everyone might not have a Mercedes SUV. I'm not trying to say that, but you see it a lot, and that's still a level of relatability that you can't really get when you see a P1 or a Senna, because not everyone sees a P1. Why are there so much dogs around? But yeah, I think we're overdue for a Mercedes SUV. One that looks good, not whatever that thing is. Where are you going? And the last car on this list is the Tempesta. The Tempesta is based off of the generation of Lamborghini Huracan at the time. The Huracan is actually out of production now, I believe, so that sucks. But this really just don't really look like a Huracan. The proportions are okay. I think the roof is a bit too forward. The Huracan sits more in the middle of things. I'm not too sure. The customizations are pretty good though. It has a wing that is pretty accurate to a Huracan higher trim, but the Huracan, its last generation, definitely looks very different from this. The headlights look very different. The entire proportions look very different, but unfortunately this is probably one of those cars where even in GTA 6 we'll probably just get this car and we won't get a latest generation Lamborghini Huracan, because in Rockstar's eyes this probably looks fine, but in my opinion it really just doesn't. I don't know. Something looks off about this car. The proportions, something. I'm not too sure. Something's just off. And we don't have HSW for this car. I think that fits the Huracan perfectly. Once again, it's one of those cars where it's kind of known for its tunability. The Huracan and the Audi R8, because it's essentially they're kind of the same car. The R8's a bit of a died-down version of the Huracan. And yeah, I think it would be super cool if we got a latest generation or last generation Huracan. And even Aventador to that extent, because the Zentorno is not really an Aventador. The Ignis is not really an Aventador. Like, Rockstar keeps on teasing us with like, hey, we're kind of giving you an Aventador-like car, but we're not going to give you a car that looks like an Aventador. I don't know. It's really stupid to me. And I think a proper last generation Huracan and Aventador, if they released as 2-in-1 update, that would be absolutely awesome. But will we ever get that? I don't know. Even in GTA 6, I don't know. Sadly, it's one of those cars where we truly are just kept in the dark. And that is it, everyone. Hopefully you did appreciate... Oh, that's wrong. Fuck. And that is it, everyone. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, please consider subscribing and leaving a like. It really does help. I'm not too algorithm savvy or whatever. Honestly, I don't really care to be, because I'm kind of scared that would change my content and how I view it. I think that's kind of a problem with modern YouTube these days. But before I get into a tangent, thank you all so much for watching. If you do want more car videos like this, please let me know. I'm not sure if people even like this. Depending on the views this video gets, this probably might be my last car video ever. I'm just kidding. It won't be my last car video ever for sure. But do let me know if you want more car videos. I know I've been doing a lot of story videos lately, so if you do want more car videos, then let me know, because I honestly don't know. And thank you so much to my channel members as well. If you do want to become a channel member, all you have to do is click subscribe. Then it will be replaced by a button that says join. Click the join button for more details, and that is it. You will get some unique perks as well. Have a great day or night or evening. I will see you all later, and goodbye.